Welcome everybody, welcome to, well, we're in May now, so we're doing our May pack for house wine. Say it every month, got a wicked lineup, particularly actually the white wines that we're doing. We've sort of upped the ante a little bit more. They're two really, really special wines and fully natural, very, very small production. And the two reds we have as well are slightly kind of lighter. I'm not going to say fresher, but light and soft and round. Great, so the first white wine we're starting with is from a spot called Conca de Barbera, which is just inland from Barcelona in Spain. A lovely couple called Albert and Marione, and they make very, very small production wines under a winery called Success Vinicola. And they've been making wines now, not for very long actually, they're relatively new to winemaking. They make natural wines, so very little, if any, sulfur dioxide put into this wine. And it's made from an old indigenous Spanish grape variety called Parellada. You find it right down in the south of Spain quite a lot, but some of it's planted along the Mediterranean coast all the way up towards the top near Barcelona. And it's a really interesting one. It's not all about like loads and loads of like ripe fruit. It's quite complex, it's got quite a bit going on, and I always find this one quite difficult to describe. But it's got some sort of like savoury characters going on, and it's got a slightly kind of like rustic, kind of like apple aroma. It's absolutely wonderful stuff. I've tried it from bottle, and it tastes great. But from keg, you just get all of the lovely sort of detailed flavours and characteristics in it. I expect Vic, who's behind the camera at the moment, will show you a little image of the two winemakers. They're just lovely. And I think they've got a great future in winemaking. So there we are, lovely, really interesting white to Parellada to start with. Next up is a wine that I've just loved for years and years and years, and Laurent, who makes this one, Laurent Cazot, has decided to put it into keg, and again, it tastes even better from keg. Much fresher, much juicier, and Laurent makes wines in a spot called Gaillac in southwest France. This one is made from two different old indigenous grape varieties. As you guys have probably noticed, we don't like to go with the usual grape varieties like Merlot, Sauvignon Blanc and all the rest of it. What we try and give you is a true flavour of where the wines have come from. And to give you something which is a little bit different from the usual stuff you find in the supermarkets as well. So this is made from, they're both a bit of a mouthful. One's called Mauzac, and the other one is called Loin de l'Oie. Laurent, traditionally, with his family, have been making spirits, eau de vie and liquors for several generations, and Laurent has decided to make some wines as well, and they are just wonderful. When I first started getting into natural wine, I don't know, whenever it was, about sort of 13, 14 years ago, his wines were some of the first natural wines I ever tried, and they were just absolutely wonderful. It's a little bit like, chucking all over the place, it's a bit like kind of sunshine in the glass, lots of sort of ripe tropical fruit. It smells just sort of like cantaloupe, sort of like honeydew melon. It's wonderful. What are you saying, Vic? Okay. You don't like melons, no?
Oh, no. I was mouthing what I can taste at the moment, which is obviously very different. Yeah. Ignore me.
Vic hasn't been very well recently, so since the taste isn't doing so well. Been taking the mick out of it recently. Yeah, it's wonderful stuff. I just love it. You can drink it by the bucket load. So we've gone out, got some really, really nice ones for you for this month. And the reds are just great too. So this is, the first red is from Abruzzo in northeast Italy. It's made from Montepulciano, and this is from a cooperative. And I'll probably explain what cooperatives do. It's actually like a group of growers normally, and they combine all of their resources and their fruit often as well, to produce wines which are more sort of economically viable, I guess. And it means that we can, or the guys at Enchanted that we work with, it means that they can get an amazing wine to you at a really great price. And the cooperative was set up in the 1960s by, I've got my notes underneath here.
You don't use notes, this is all in your head, Sam.
I don't think, no.
Style it out, don't just push the notes.
Francesco. So this is the second time I've tried this wine, and it's wonderful stuff. You can, Montepulciano is one of those slightly kind of like thin-skinned grape varieties. It's a little bit like a lighter version of Sangiovese, and it has that slightly kind of rustic, herbal kind of quality to it. but it's got a real sort of like ripe cherry kind of character to it as well. And the name of the winery is called Cantina Frentana. And it's a bit of a new one. I just think it's great. It's wonderful stuff and quite sort of like aromatic and expressive, like on your nose. Last but not least, we have Grenache, Garnacha. Now, Garnacha or Grenache, so you can call it Garnacha in Spain, you can call it Grenache in France. This one is from France, we're going to call it Grenache. It's one of my favourite grape varieties. I just think it's wonderful, and it can really kind of express where it's come from. This one we source from the Chaudrier family, so they have a winery called, what's the winery called again? Chateau Pesquier. And we did quite a few different wines by them. We've had a few in-house wine lineups over the last few months or so, but the Grenache is just wonderful. This one's maybe a little bit sort of crunchier, and so the Montpellier is a bit sort of crunchy and herbal. In comparison, the Grenache is soft, round, plummy, slightly kind of spicy, and it's quite kind of serious stuff. We've got 2 restaurants that we supply it to, and they just absolutely love it, and I've tried to sort of convince them to try something else, but they don't want it because it just ticks every box for them. I guess if you kind of like, it's quite similar to Merlot. It's probably like the easiest way of comparing it to another well-known grape variety. Mont Ventoux, so this is produced in the foothills of Mont Ventoux. Long line of winemakers, the Chaudrier family, and I just love it. I could drink a whole bottle quite easily.
I think you could throw it over your white outfit as well.
I haven't managed that yet.
I'm just waiting for you to throw it all over your perfectly white top.
I'm a bit of a loose cannon when I'm like swirling wine. Right, I hope you guys enjoy. And what have we got coming up, Vic? We've got an event with Dan Lee.
Yeah, we've got only a couple of tickets left for the 19th. The 20th sold out
Only
pretty
2?
much straight away.
Okay.
Yeah, so
well, maybe by the time we put this out, they might have gone. Possibly.
Yeah, just for the 8:30 seating. So that's been super popular. That's going to be great.
May the 19th, which is in just under 2 weeks.
Just under 2 weeks.
What else we have got?
We've got some more tastings. We've got we've got an introduction to orange wine tasting on Saturday, the 4th of June. We've got an introduction to natural wine on the 11th of June, which is also a Saturday.
Maybe put like a little poster with the details round about like here, possibly.
Yeah, sure. I can do that. And then we've got introduction to Fizz tomorrow. That's not going to help anyone. But we're going to have quite a few more coming up. So we're going to sort of focus in on regions. So do like a Spanish tasting, and like we do all sorts of different things. And we've got loads of exciting tastings coming up.
And Summer Wine Fair. I'm not going to call it Summer Wine Fair. It's going to be a bit more than just a wine tasting coming up, I think, towards the end of July into August. So there we are, and we've got a couple more chef events as well in the planning for the end of the summer. So we'll be emailing you about.
We're planning lots. We've got lots coming up.
We do. Yeah, exciting stuff. Anyway, have fun. Enjoy these. We'll see you next month.